Hi, it's me, Joyce. Just talking, just singing, and I'm here to. I'm not a futurist, and I certainly don't live in the past. Although I have been uh, criticized for maybe doing a little bit too much reflection on the past. But hey, when you reach 66, that tends to happen. We remember all the good days, the good old days, even if they're bad old days. We remember them as, we remember all the highlights and the lowlights. But often when we look back at the past, we do it with a nostalgic eye. And that's what I tend to do. Yes, there were some pretty horrible times, but you know what? I think, yeah, there were a lot of good times too. Which brings me to today's topic, the futurist part. And, you know, my son just finished reading a book, Homo Deus. It's a futurist book. It's based on. I'll just read you the actual what it says on his own homepage about the book. Homo Deus. A brief history of tomorrow examines what might happen to the world when old myths are coupled with new godlike technologies, such as artificial intelligence and genetic engineering. Humans conquered the world thanks to their unique ability to believe in collective myths about gods, money, equality, and freedom, as described in Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind, which is the book that precedes this one that he wrote. In Homo Deus, Professor Harari looks to the future and explores how global power might shift as the principal force of evolution, natural selection, is replaced by intelligent design. What will happen to democracy when Google and Facebook come to know our likes and our political preferences better than we know them ourselves? And what will happen to the welfare state when computers push humans out of the job market and create a massive new useless class? And how might Islam handle genetic engineering? Will Silicon Valley end up producing new religions rather than just novel gadgets? As Homo sapiens becomes Homo Deus, what new destinies will we set for ourselves as the self-made gods of planet Earth? Which projects should we undertake, and our own sorry undertake, and how will we protect the fragile planet and humankind itself from our own destructive powers? The book Homo Deus gives us a glimpse of the dreams and nightmares that will shape the 21st century. So I know my son said to me, "Oh, I just finished this book called Homo Deus," and he said, "I'm glad I'm not going to be living in 100 years," as he felt, like we're all going to. It's not going to be a very good thing where there'll be no, let's say, religion, or there'll be genetic engineering, and we already have a lot of that. A lot of things are happening right now, but um, which brings me to, will mankind really allow that? Um, Democracy is a very solid ideal, and it's an ideal that we put into practice, and here, especially in the West. Of course, there are many countries that have democracies. We have Australia, of course, and Israel in the Middle East, and many, South Korea. Many places have a democracy, and it's working for them, and people are thriving. They're able to be who they need to be, who they desire to be, to follow their dreams, and to fulfill, whatever needs they have. Able to, go about freely. The whole idea is about freedom, right? Liberty to be who you are, and that's a very important freedom for us. And of course, I know we have a lot of protests in the world right now regarding what people believe liberties have been taken away from us. And yes, in many ways, yes, they have been. Of course, we're in a pandemic right now, and it's not going to last forever. And these freedoms will not be permanently removed from us, because there have been some necessary things that have had to happen so that we can get well, and our society can come back to whatever the new normal is, whatever happens, okay? Um, so, and of course, here in Ontario, we're seeing openings today on Monday, which is wonderful. A lot more people are going to be able to go about their business as more or less usual. Anyway, but that being put aside, um, when we look at the past and we see things that have changed, a lot of revolutions have taken place, of course. We've had a lot of changes of empires throughout history, um, people who've driven to conquer, to take over lands and to destroy other people and to change whatever their religion is, to conform to what they believe, or even social constructs have been changed, like um, we've seen a lot of that in our own Western society, and also right across the globe, depending on where you are, what country you are, what that looks like, because it's going to look different in every country, obviously, because different populations, different political systems, socioeconomic systems, blah blah blah, all this kind of thing. Climate, of course, plays a big part, and yes, there is climate change. Personally, I think we're headed towards an ice age. um, because that's another thing. Because in the past, a precursor to an ice age has been really warm weather. But we do have some extenuating circumstances here with global warming and whatever. Anyway, point is that we don't really know that technology will take over and will change everything with artificial intelligence. Yeah, it's a dangerous thing in some ways. It's a great thing in others. We look back to nuclear power. It could destroy or it could heal. We have nuclear medicine now that's come out of that, and it hasn't taken over us, thank God. We have not destroyed ourselves with nuclear energy. I think we scared ourselves with Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Devastating, horrible destruction from the H-bomb. Um, so we know the power of this, and we kept it, kept it under wraps. We've under control with whatever treaties we've made with other countries, and we all know what devastation it can cause. So we have within us a moral compass, and we have within us ethics and an understanding and a need to survive, absolutely a need to survive. So mankind, I don't believe, is going to self-obliterate, self-destruct, whatever. I don't really believe that's going to happen. And even, I really enjoy the work of futurists and science fiction, because that's all about taking what we have now and then saying, well, what could happen? Where are we heading? And of course, if we look even at if people have gone to Disney World and gone to Epcot Center, and what the future will look like, in 20 blah blah blah, and you think, wow, we're all going to be driving around in flying cars eventually. Yes, because they're actually working on flying cars down in the Nevada desert. I know that because I I did some work with a company called Foolish Earthling Productions, and they were interviewing people who are actually working on those, and that was a great experience. So I was transcribing the video. Yeah. Anyway, it's another thing, but I actually saw these young guys working on flying cars. Wow, it's amazing. So expect those in the next several years. They're coming. But the point is that it doesn't come when we say it's going to come, and it may come, it may not come, may happen, it may not happen. Same thing in the past, and people thought, wow, when trains came along, that, if they went, 70 miles an hour, that they would lose their breath because you'd be going so fast. The breath would be taken out of their lungs, that kind of thing. And we know that's not true. I mean, my goodness, look at how fast people go Mach 4, up in an airplane. Of course, they need, that. Then they do need, masks, oxygen and that. But heck, we've gone to the moon. We're sending probes to Mars. There are a lot of wonderful things to look forward to in the future. I do not believe that people will completely lose their moral compass. There will be always people who will want to have the spirituals. I mean, we're not just physical. We are a soul. We are spiritual beings, having this physical existence. So to think that we're only going to be able to rely on being completely physical it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen, because throughout all the technological advancements we've had, through everything, people are always seeking, because we feel it. It's there. It's everywhere, It's around us. We sense it. It's palpable, beyond the physical. And we're always going to want that. We're always going to be seeking that. It's never going away. And Hashem is not going to allow that either. If you know there's a God, you'll say, that's not going to happen. As a matter of fact, well, let me think now. Okay, we're going to get biblical here. Yeah, let's get biblical. Let's get biblical. Biblical. Gonna get biblical. Okay, enough of that. Sodom, Gomorrah, fire, gone. Presumably, apparently, the Dead Sea is what used to be Sodom and Gomorrah, and that's pre-dead. That's gone. Then what? Oh, next one, flood. Noah. All the flood stories on the planet, like from Gilgamesh to Noah to wherever, and yeah, water, gone. So we got fire, we got water. There's earth, air, fire, and water. Okay, so next one, either gigantic earth-swallowing earthquakes, or we're going to be blown away. And I don't believe that's going to happen because we have not nuked ourselves yet, and I don't see that coming up, It's just not going to happen. No matter who has nuclear weapons, whether it's Iran or North Korea or Pakistan or, or the United States or Russia or whoever, we're smarter than that. We are. We really are. I know Iran's got, they want to point their nukes to Israel and blow it off the face of the planet. But you know what? They do that to Israel, they're going to do it to themselves too. So that's kind of sort of a useless, well, mind you, I won't go down that dark road. But, yeah, so anyway, there you go. I'm not a futurist, and I'm not a scientist. I'm just a person just thinking a few thoughts. So I always sing a song, and I thought, what song am I going to sing with this one? And yeah, I am singing in front. I'm singing in front of my the set piece from my UFO show that I had, which was called Interstellar, the UFO show, when I was known then with my married name, Joyce Halfin, Halfin. But I'm not a Halfin anymore. I'm an Aldrich. I went back to my maiden name. Anyway, I thought, what do we have? All we have is now. That's all we have is now. All we ever have is now. We have to make the best of now, no matter what we are in a pandemic, good times, bad times. They're just the times, and they do change. And I know I'm going to sing times they are changing. No. But I loved a musical that I saw way back when I went to New York, and it's called La Cage aux Folles. I love that musical. It was so much fun and so great, and a great message in it too, and acceptance and tolerance, and that sort of actually kind of jives with what we're talking about today, because we have to be able to accept each other, We're all sharing this planet together, and Hashem made us in all different ways, didn't he? Yeah, or he or she. Oh my gosh. I just realized we haven't ascribed pronouns to Hashem yet, so we'll just call Hashem. How's that? And I have to say I don't ascribe any pronouns to myself, but that's me, and that's my choice, right? So, and that's the beautiful thing about living in a democracy. We have a choice and a voice. So I'm going to sing. Okay, so here it is. The best of times is now, and I hope I don't blow this song. It goes up in octaves, into ranges that I'm not as comfortable with, but here we go. Okay. The of times is now. What's left of summer but a faded rose? The best of times is now. As for tomorrow, well, who knows, who knows, who knows? So hold this moment fast. Let's live and love as hard as we know how. Let's make this moment last, because the best of times is now, is now, is now, now. Not some forgotten yesterday. Now. Tomorrow seems too far away. So hold this moment fast. Let's live and love as hard as we know how. And let this moment last, because the best of times is now, is now, is now, now. Not some forgotten yesterday. Now. Tomorrow seems too far away. So hold this moment fast. Let's live and love as hard as we know how. Because let's make this moment last. Because the best of times is now, is now, is now, is now, is now, now, now. Oh boy. Now. Darn it, now. Okay. Let's make it last. And I hope I didn't assault you with that song. I like that song though. It's great. A lot of great music from that show. So yeah, La Cage aux Folles, The Birdcage. After that story, that movie. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me here for another Joyce Just Talking, Just Singing, just wondering about the future, wondering about the past, but saying, make today last. Okay? And let's just do a 42 and let that be the meaning of life, and let your life have much meaning. Okay? Thank you so much for joining me here on Joyce Just Talking, Just Singing.